may begin to decline.
All right, so he's been surging in the recent polls, as you know, but our senior political analyst says that the honeymoon may be over for Herman Cain, says that he's pro-life. He also says, though, that that decision should be a personal one, and Brit Hume believes that that contradiction is a big problem for Herman Cain. Here is Herman Cain in the interview I did with him that Brit just referenced on Friday. Take a look.
Look, abortion should not be legal. That is clear. But if that family made a decision to break the law, that's that family's decision. That's all I'm trying to say.
So Karl Rove was a senior advisor and deputy chief of staff to President George W. Bush. He's also a Fox News contributor. Good morning, Karl. Good to have you here this morning.
Thanks, Martha.
Do you agree with what Britt said about Herman Cain and his trajectory?
Yes. If you look at the polls, in fact, there's a hint that sometime between October 6th and October 10th, Cain peaked and has begun to slide slightly since then. And look, it's not just abortion. It's Cain has had a number of misstatements. I mean, we've had abortion. We had earlier this year, he didn't understand what the right of return was, the Palestinian demand for the right of return. He recently said he didn't understand what neoconservatives were when it came to foreign policy. He had a rather odd answer on Afghan policy. Basically, I'll figure it out once I get into office. The federal sales tax, the way he handled it in the debate, apples and oranges, and you know, it is a federal sales tax, and he just simply wouldn't acknowledge it. And then does he have a VAT, a value-added tax, in the form of his 9% corporate tax rate, or is it 9% corporate income tax rate? Yeah. The whole effect of this is to not create an image, I think, of him as being a flip-flopper. I think it is to create an image of him as not being up to this task. And that's really deadly. Yeah, that's really deadly for a presidential candidate.
A question, when you're, you know, everybody's listening to these folks as they're up there and evaluating their answers on these things. And I think any candidate, Karl, can get away with, you know, one or two times when they sort of, you know, make a mistake or they, you know, are taken out of context, truly. I think everybody can sort of excuse that once in a while. I just want to play this Herman Cain this morning on Fox and Friends in response to the Wolf Blitzer question, when he was asked about whether or not he would be willing to do the kind of prisoner trade that Benjamin Netanyahu did to recover Gilad Shalit. And here's what he said about that.
He did a quick redirect and referred to Gitmo. And in the heat of getting ready for a debate and everything else, I did stop and think that Gitmo is where we hold terrorists. So I misstated. So I misspoke relative to that. But then I went back and corrected and said, as president, we will not negotiate with terrorists.
Problematic, right?
Yeah, confusing. I mean, better to say, not to get into the detail, but simply say, let me tell you what my view is. This is my view. You're right, everybody gets a mulligan. Everybody, in fact, gets a couple of mulligans. But you look at Herman Cain's record here, and while he shows a lot of passion, a lot of energy, he's grabbed a lot of attention with the 999 tax plan, it's the cumulative effect of all these misstatements and errors is to create a sense that he's not up to it. Now, look, he's not the only one, though. I saw Governor Perry of Texas this morning, who you know, had an okay debate performance last week after some extraordinarily bad ones, has started to now talk about a flat tax. This looks like a way to bend his campaign back in a positive trajectory. And then today he comes out and is quoted as sort of adding a little bit of fuel to the fire that Barack Obama was not born in the United States, sort of semi-aligned himself with the birthers. These kind of things do not help, whether it's Herman Cain or Governor Perry. It doesn't help them convince the American people they're up to the job.
Yeah, we have that quote.